Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater and Deadpool in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We know that it's coming. We know that it's here. The Fox Disney deal is done to the tune of $71.3 billion. It's a finalized deal. X-Men Dark Phoenix opens up here literally in 2 weeks, and that's it. It's done. It's finito for that particular franchise. New Mutants claims to have an April 2020 release. No, probably not. Probably not. They gave it a release this, ain't gonna happen. But the question then becomes, what about this guy right here? What about Deadpool? Where does he fit into the mix? Well, according to MCU Cosmic, they say here that Marvel is exploring ways of introducing Deadpool into the MCU. And that does seem to make the most sense. Deadpool is, in my opinion, a billion-dollar franchise that hasn't fully reached its potential. Deadpool 2 should have put it up to $1 billion. Unfortunately, its release date a year ago ultimately hurt the film and kind of took down Solo with it. I do think they kind of canceled each other out for being as successful as they could have been. But that being said, let's take a look here what the article says. It says there are apparently the options, or these are the apparent options on the table that they are considering to bring Wade Wilson into the MCU. Saying here a new solo film such as Deadpool 3, a new Disney Plus limited series, and guest starring in Spider-Man 3. Now, it goes on to say that a Disney Plus limited series sticks out as everything on that service is meant to be family friendly or PG-13 at most in the cases of Marvel Studio stuff. Deadpool can work in a PG-13 environment, so that's definitely an interesting choice to consider bringing him into the MCU. A limited series could have all sorts of fun references to the past MCU while they integrate him into the universe. But here's the thing with that. Ryan Reynolds is an A-list star. Ryan Reynolds is top tier A-list Hollywood royalty at this point. Are you going to sit there and tell me that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige are going to convince Ryan Reynolds to be downgraded to Disney Plus? No, not at all. Not at all. Maybe at the end of his run after Deadpool 5 fails to cross 500 million, is getting to the end of his career in this particular role, a role that he has coveted since 2009, a role that he has nurtured and he has babied and he has fought for. Do you really think he's going to give it up now? They know that this is $1 billion franchise, and they know that they've got to try to find a way to get it there, and they've got to find a way to bring it into the MCU. So no, a Disney Limited Plus series is not the answer, and that is something that's already off the table before it even could before the ink could dry in this particular article. Now, the third option is the most interesting, where Marvel is considering an option of putting Deadpool in Spider-Man 3 is a huge confirmation that Tom Holland really does have a contract for 3 solo movies with Marvel, like he has said in the past, and that Marvel-Sony deal will continue as normal until into a third movie following Spider-Man Far From Home. I don't think anyone out there thought that that wasn't going to happen. I still think that Amy Pascal is a sleeper agent over at Universal to get them to relinquish the rights to Hulk and Namor and She-Hulk and whatever else other characters Universal has over Marvel in order to make the MCU as whole as humanly possible. And when it boils down to brass tacks, when you take it down to the monetary aspect of it, it makes the most sense to make these deals where you work the deal, you basically cut a check, Marvel does all the heavy lifting, you put out the movie, you distribute it, and then you pocket the cash, because Kevin Feige knows and Bob Iger knows that by doing these deals, everybody makes a lot of money. Sony made a lot of money off of Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man Far From Home will do very well following the events of Endgame, which is currently on its way to beating Avatar, I guess. I'm not too sure at this point. But the thing to remember here, though, is the likelihood of what actually will be happening. And the likelihood of what actually will be happening is going to probably be Deadpool 3. They wanted to do X-Force when it was under Fox. X-Force is going to have Drew Goddard write and direct it. He always seems to find himself in these situations where he loses out on the ability to make these kind of movies. So going into Deadpool 3 is probably going to be what happens. Now, my theory is simply this. They're waiting for Terminator Dark Fate to get done and over with. They're going to go back to Tim Miller, talk to Tim Miller, have him and Ryan Reynolds and Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick come together and make nice and all hump in an orgy, and then come out and make Deadpool 3 under the MCU when they finally introduce the multiverse theory into everything, and they finally open it up and they bring everybody in, but it won't be for a while. And I do think that's a bit of a mistake, because right now they're going to have to try to figure out how to bring everybody into the universe and then have it all cross over in a way that audiences are going to buy. Let me just kind of save Disney a lot of time. Just do it and no one will care. Just go, hey, they're in the MCU now and here's how we did it, and everyone's going to be like, all right. Yeah, okay. I mean, they did it on CW by merging over Supergirl with the Arrowverse, and no one cared because everyone wanted it to happen. So if they are going to run with the multiverse thing, which I do think will work, but I also think is kind of dumb, to be fair, then this is a situation where they're going to be able to just kind of go, this is how it is, this is how it's established. Now we've crossed the gap, or we've merged these universes together, and we're done talking about it. No more shall we ever have to mention this particular situation, and everyone is going to be fat, dumb, and happy because they're going to be making a lot of money off of these films. They should start with a cameo in Spider-Man 3 and then lead into Deadpool 3. I think that would probably work. We're going to know more come Comic-Con when we get the full Phase 4 slate, at least what they have initially prepped as a Phase 4 slate. Anything could happen in the process, but I do find it interesting that they are actively working right now to bring him in because they know how much money Deadpool is worth. They know how much money he can potentially make, and that the potential wasn't met with Deadpool 2. And that has a lot to do not only with the release date, as I said, but the tone of the film was vastly different. And there's nothing against David Leitch, who directed it. I think he's a great director. I can't wait for Hobbs and Shaw. But Deadpool needed that warm touch that Tim Miller brought to the table. And it's a shame that it didn't work out the way that it did. And I'm hoping that they find a way to fix it, and I'm hoping that they bring it all back. And I think that's probably what's going to happen, more like Deadpool in his own film, but probably after cameoing in Deadpool in Spider-Man 3, because the two have a comic together and it's very popular and people love bantering together. And I would love to see Ryan Reynolds and Tom Holland go off of each other and see how it plays out. But anyway, I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions. Do you feel that that Deadpool 3 is going to happen, or is it going to be a Spider-Man 3 cameo? Or do you think that it could possibly be a Disney Plus limited series? Again, let me know. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. But if you really want to help the channel, be sure to check out patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. There's 3 Buck Theater perks. Lots going to be going on with that, as well as the Facebook group, which is going to be only growing as time goes on. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.